That's pure Ilayaraja magic. Welcome to Hari Music Zone. I am Harishankar S. I have no idea what to say about the song that I wish to analyze today, because this song is one of the greatest examples of music expressing that which words cannot express. I am talking about Isaignani Ilayaraja's masterpiece from the 1991 Tamil language film Thalapathy, Chinnathayaval. ചിന്നത്തായവൾ തന്തരാസാവേ മുള്ളിൽ തോன்றிய ചിന്ന ரோஜாவே ചിന്നത്തായവൾ തന്തരാസാവേ മുള്ളിൽ തോன்றிய ചിന്ന ரோஜாவே சொல்லவாரோ நம் சொந்தங்கள் யார் யாரோ உந்தன் கண்ணில் ஏந்தான் நீரோ சின்னத்தாயவள் தந்தராசாவே முள்ளில் தோன்றிய சின்ன ரோஜாவே. The song Chinnathayaval does not appear as a single continuous song in the film. The first half of the song appears in the title of the film, and the latter half appears at the last quarter of the film. When the film begins, 14-year-old Kalyani abandons her newborn child in a goods train hesitantly, and when the train starts to move, her maternal instinct kicks in and she runs with the train to get the child back. But alas, it is too late. The train outruns her and it vanishes with the steam trumpet. Isaignani blends the steam trumpet of the train with the music ingeniously. Listen to those heart-wrenching strings again. It is a violin and Dilruba duet played by Sri Narasimhan and Mrs. Saroja respectively. Only a true master like Ilayaraja sir can make music more intense than a mother's high-pitched lament over the loss of her child. This short piece in the violin and the Dilruba is in itself a devastating ode to grief. This is followed by the ominous dissonant notes of the whistle. This dissonant whistle is then followed by plucked strings, and this partially resolves the dissonance, and then enters Sri S. Janaki's lullaby-like humming, which resolves the tension completely by landing on the tonic or the home key of the song. How pacifying it is. In short, there is intense grief, which is the steam trumpet plus the Dilruba and the violin. Then there is horror or the sense of alienation, which is the dissonant whistle. And then there is resolution or acceptance on some level, which is the lullaby-like humming. Thus, the prelude alone is like an eventful theatrical piece. What more should I say about this legendary composer? The Pallavi of the song is one of the greatest opening musical phrases of all time. Chinnatayaval Gamagazasa. How could a composer further move the listeners who have already been moved extremely by the prelude itself? Well, Sri Ilayaraja sir answers this question through his music, an organic, earthy, folkish tune, well rooted to Tamil folk music tradition, and Sri S. Janaki's sublime voice. Let us listen to the first two lines of the Pallavi of this song.
சின்னத்தாயவள் தந்த ராசாவே முள்ளில் தோன்றிய சின்ன ரோசாவே சின்னத்தாயவள் தந்த ராசாவே முள்ளில் தோன்றிய சின்ன ரோசாவே.
Here, the first Chinnathayaval is an abrupt fall. Chinnatha, Chinnathayaval, Gama Magaga, Gama Ga. It's an abrupt fall. It is like walking down the stairs quickly. But the second Chinnathayaval is more like jumping to the third step from the first step and landing there precisely and gracefully. Chinnathayaval, Chinnatha. You see the difference? Chinnatha, Chinnatha. Even a good singer will be doubtful and may tend to narrow his or her voice for precision. Let us listen to the first Chinnathayaval.
சின்னத்தாயவள்
Now the second one.
சின்னத்தாயவள்
See her confidence. She doesn't have to worry, it comes naturally to her. There is no drop in volume of her voice, no narrowing of her voice, and not an iota of doubt. She just goes for it and hits it straight as always. Ilayaraja sir uses short trills in the Pallavi, in the parts Rasave and Sollava. In a certain way, it intensifies the emotions. A trill means a rapid alternation of notes. Rasa ve ve gariga magamariza. There is a trill there. There is a rapid alternation of notes there. The same kind of short trill is used in the next part of the Pallavi. Sollavararo va rasa ve sollava ve va. If we sing those trills consecutively, what we get is a standard phrase in the ragam Charukeshi. This is what Charukeshi sounds like. The ragam Charukeshi is very effective in evoking different shades of pathos. But Chinnathayaval is not about Charukeshi. It is not a composition set within the strict confines of a ragam. Raja sir uses the notes in Charukeshi along with some accidentals in a very sensible way to evoke this intense pathos. Anyway, here my main point is that Sri Ilayaraja uses the immense potential of Sri S. Janaki's voice in the Pallavi itself.
சொல்லவாராரோ நம் சொந்தங்கள் யாராரோ உந்தன் கண்ணில் ஏந்தான் நீரோ சின்னத்தாயவள் தந்த ராசாவே முள்ளில் தோன்றிய சின்ன ரோசாவே.
I don't know if you noticed it. Mullil Tondriya has been sung in 3 different ways. Mullil Tondriya 1, Mullil Tondriya முள்ளில் தோன்றிய. I mean, it's incredible. I have no words for this. These are the nuances that differentiate shallowness and depth in music. These are the little big things that make him Isai Jnani. Before moving on to the next part, I would like to ask you a question. Did you know that Sri Ilayaraja has used a phrase very similar to na 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 in one of his recent songs? We'll get into that song soon. This entire song has the rhythmic dynamics of a lullaby. In the interlude before the first charanam, the percussion itself recreates the rhythm of the gentle swing of a cradle. And the melody that flows over this percussion sounds exactly like a mother's lullabyish hum. Again, the Dilruba enters. It simultaneously expands the short piece in the prelude and acts as a perfect bridge to the first charanam. These are the elements that we are missing nowadays in popular music today. Melody is a strong component of this song. For example, that Dilruba. It is as if Rajasar is asking several questions which can only be asked through music. That phrase in Dilruba talks to us. In this song, whenever he gets a chance, Ilayaraja sir musically pokes at the most primitive, vulnerable part of our caveman brains, our feelings for the offspring. This is exactly how he makes this song haunting and wounding. Since the charanams of the songs have the same tune as in every song, we shall consider them together. There is a lot of drama going on in the charanams, musically speaking. Every second line is a more intense variation of the first line. Na 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 na. The next two lines are analogous to the Pallavi. Unnai naan inda nenzil vaangida. That part, Unnai naan inda, corresponds to Chinnattayaval. They are structurally kind of identical. Unnai naan inda Chinnattayaval. Na 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 na. See, there is a beautiful symmetry which adds to this dramatic effect. And then comes to the pivotal part of the song. The next and final phrase is like an emotional climax. Vizhimudado in the first charanam, and in the second charanam, Endantenare Here also you can see the structural similarity with the Pallavi. Rasave tenare. So structurally they are almost like climbing stairs.
விழிமூடாதோ சின்னத்தாயவள்.
That drop from the Kaishiki Nishadam to the Andhra Gandharam is incredible. Don't get scared by the names. Those are just two names given to two notes. That's two sounds. That's all there is to it. What I'm talking about is the drop from the end of Charanam to the Pallavi. Virimudado chinnatta o o. It drops from o to that's incredible. That's pure Ilayaraja magic. Ilayaraja sir has laid a melodic premise here, and the song's development is completely in consensus with the intrinsic logic or the rules of the melodic universe that he has created here. I think it is almost like the standard narrative structure of storytelling. The interlude before the second charanam, that is the second interlude, starts with a beautiful melodic phrase in a string ensemble. If you remember the scene, Surya, played by Sri Rajinikanth, after coming to know that Kalyani is his mother, is watching his mother to fulfill his desire to get at least a glance of his long lost mother without her knowing. After the string ensemble, the melody is carried by a soul-stirring flute. This flute interlude articulates the plethora of questions that Surya might have had in his mind, and perhaps a yearning for love while standing right in front of his mother. Musicians use music to communicate feelings and emotions which are sometimes too abstract for words. And hence music gives these feelings and emotions a structure. What Ilayaraja sir does here is giving that structure to a spectrum of emotions by using the aforementioned parallel melodic phrases. It takes a lot of experience and understanding how music works for a musician to channel his or her ocean of ideas fruitfully. We all know that Isai Jnani has got whatever it takes, and hence this masterpiece. Now I would like to answer the question which I asked you. Which is the latest song in which Raja sir has used this same phrase na, 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 to evoke a totally different shade of pathos? This is the phrase. Na, 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 na. I'm going to modify it slightly and I'm going to repeat it. Na 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 na. உன்னை நினைச்சு நினைச்சு உருகி போனேன் மிழுகா, நெஞ்ச உதைச்சு உதைச்சு பறந்து போன அழகா. யாரோ அவளோ என்னை தீண்டும் காற்றின் விரலோ, யாரோ அவளோ தாலாட்டும் தாயின் குரலோ. So I hope you all enjoyed the video. Kindly like, comment, share and subscribe. Bye for now.